Good day to our subscribers and our audience. Finally, after 2 months of 9.09er YouTube IELTS OET PTE, now we have more than 3,000 subscribers, more than 35,000 views, and almost 4,000 hours watched. So thank you so much, guys, for the support. Few weeks ago, we featured IDP British Council ACE Testing Hub. After that, we also featured two recruitment agencies, namely Health Carousel and Universal Staffing. But why USA first? Because right now, according to the statistics of IELTS candidates in the Philippines, USA is the #1 destination. You might want to ask why. That is because USA is not affected by the healthcare worker ban. So for other healthcare professionals planning to go to UK or Ireland, they have to put their dreams on hold, but USA is wide open for you guys. Exactly the reason why for this morning, we're going to feature the biggest NCLEX processing center in the Philippines, none other than IPASS Processing. So we have the president and CEO, Ms. Rachel Olivar. Ms. Rach, would you like to greet our audience?
Thank you very much, Sir Irvin, for this opportunity that you have given to IPASS Processing. And we would like to congratulate you first because you started your YouTube and now you have so many subscribers already in just a matter of 2 months.
2 months.
Yes, congratulations. So we are very thankful that you have invited us on this online collaboration, Sir Irvin. So thank you very much for having us.
You're welcome, Ms. Rachel. So without further ado, we're going to start with the overview. Okay, so IPASS Processing is in the business of assisting applicants for NCLEX, HAAD, DHA, Prometric, and USA visa screening. So our audience, our subscribers would like to know, what's the overview for NCLEX, HAAD, DHA, Prometric, and will you please include their similarities and their differences?
So, Sir Irvin, for the NCLEX, this is the licensure examination. If ever that the nurses want to go to the USA, so this is like the PRC because in the Philippines, nurses should have their PRC license before one will be allowed to practice as a nurse here in the Philippines. So if ever that the nurse wants to go to the USA and practice nursing there as a nurse, they should be able to pass the NCLEX first and they should be able to have their license so that they will be allowed to practice nursing there. As well as in the Middle East, they should also be able to pass the DHA examination if they want to practice working as a nurse or if they want to work as a nurse in Dubai. For Abu Dhabi, they should be able to pass the DOH examination. Qatar, we have the Prometric examination, as well as the Saudi, we have a Saudi Commission for Health Specialties, licensure examination. So in whichever country they want to work as a nurse, they should be able to pass their licensure examination. So IPASS Processing is providing these services to them so that they will not be able to, so that they can be able to have a hassle-free exam application. They no longer need to worry about how they have to go about with their documents, with the processing and all these things, these researching things, because we can assist them with their exam application.
Okay, so for the latest updates, I've read from your Facebook posts that NCLEX is now accepted in Canada and Australia. Is this right?
Yes, that is definitely true because last March, just this 2020 as well, AFRA, this is like the licensure, this is somehow like the nursing body in Australia. So they have changed the program instead that the nurse should undergo the bridging program. So they are already required to undergo OBA. And then this OBA is the outcome-based assessment. And on these steps, they have to have first the NCLEX, and then after which they will have their OSCE. It's maybe probably the same with the UK, that nurses should be able to undergo OSCE as well. And then after that, they are going to apply for their license. So if ever that the nurse passed the NCLEX USA, AFRA will accept that as long as it is within the 10 years period from the start that they applied for the NCLEX Australia. So they can be exempted for NCLEX Australia if they already have the NCLEX USA, as well as if ever that the nurse already passed the NCLEX USA, then they can also use that one if ever that they are planning to work in Canada as well. Because for one to be allowed to practice as a nurse in Canada, they should be able to pass NCLEX. So it's like hitting two birds with one stone. You can be exempted for NCLEX Australia and as well as NCLEX Canada with just NCLEX USA. And even other countries, Sir Irvin, because if you have the NCLEX USA, you can be exempted as well for Qatar examination and Abu Dhabi and Dubai examination. So you just need to have that your license should be active.
Okay, so just to recap, so NCLEX is now acceptable in USA, Canada, and Australia. And then if you're planning to work as a nurse in the Middle East, HAAD, that is for Abu Dhabi, is it right?
Yes.
DHA for Dubai, and then Prometric for Saudi and Qatar. Did I get it right?
No, for Saudi, it's not being used yet. You cannot use it
Okay.
yet. But for Qatar, you can use that. You need to have an employer so that they can process the exemption.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, we move on to the next question. Who are eligible to take the examination? And is PRC license or local work experience required before these nurses can take the examinations mentioned earlier?
So any nurse who want to apply or who want to sit for the NCLEX can apply for the NCLEX as long as they graduated Bachelor of Science in Nursing in any country, so they can apply. Even other nationalities like Indian, because we are also catering Indians and other nationalities. So, but we need to first to evaluate their documents if ever that whichever board of nursing is best for them. So here in the Philippines, if ever that you graduated nursing, as long as you graduated BSN, then you are eligible to apply for the NCLEX. So it's not necessary that you should have your PRC license and you should have your experience, but it also will depend on the certain board of nursing that we are going to apply. But it's not like a requirement for all that you should have your PRC or you should have your experience. So it depends on the board of nursing. But if ever that you just graduated, you are a fresh graduate, we would recommend that you are going to sit for our licensure examination here in the Philippines, because you will get a lot of options in choosing what board of nursing best would be best for you. You have a lot, you have huge options for these boards of nursing if ever that one passed the PRC license, the Philippine licensure examination.
Okay, so just to clarify, PRC license is not always required. It's just that you will have more opportunities and more options once you have it. Okay. Okay. Now let's move on to the next question. Where to take the examination, like where to take NCLEX, HAA, DHA, Prometric, and so on?
So we have a lot of testing centers. For the NCLEX, for example, here in the Philippines, we only have one testing center here in the Philippines. It's Pearson View, which is located in Makati. But outside of the Philippines, we also have testing centers in Hong Kong, Taiwan, in London, in UK, in Australia. I think in every country, there is a Pearson View testing center which administers this NCLEX. For the Middle East examinations, we also have in Cebu, we have the Prometric Testing Center in Cebu, wherein they can take the DOH examination, that's for Abu Dhabi, as well as for the Dubai examination and Saudi examination. And also in Manila, We also have Prometric testing centers, and Pearson VUE is also delivering the Abu Dhabi examination. So we have a lot, they can have a lot of options, whether whichever they want to sit for the examination.
Okay, so to wrap it up, if you're in the Philippines and you're planning to take NCLEX, Makati, that's where the testing center is located. But if you're taking Middle East examinations, well, you have options also of taking the examination in Cebu apart from Metro Manila. Okay,
Yes,
now we
right.
move on to the next question. How much is the cost of the examination, like for NCLEX and the Middle East nursing exams?
So let's first start with the NCLEX, because for the NCLEX, it will be around approximately 40,000 to 60,000. It will also depend as to which board of nursing that the applicant chose, because
Mm-hmm.
there will be a lot of procedures or a lot of requirements that we have to comply. So approximately it's around 40 to 60 depending on which board of nursing they chose. And then for the Middle East examinations, they can spend around 30 to 40,000. So there was an increase of the fees for Saudi, so that's why it will reach up to 40,000. So it's almost the same with the NCLEX already, that it will reach up to 40,000. But with Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and Qatar examination, it's way lesser. So for the Dubai and Abu Dhabi examination, it's around 30,000. But it's not a one-time payment as well. So we are going to have the step-by-step process, and they're just going to pay the fees as to which step we are going to accomplish. So it's not a one-time payment.
Okay, so knowing that it's a bit costly, especially for the nurses who are based here in the Philippines, do you know any recruitment agency that sponsors the payment for the examination?
That's a very good question, Sir Irvin. Because if ever that you are a fresh graduate, you graduated nursing, if ever that you're interested with NCLEX, if ever that you graduated within 2017 to 2020, we have one partner, which is the Health Carousel Philippines Incorporated, and they are sponsoring for the NCLEX. So they just have their certain requirements so that you can be eligible for the sponsorship. And this is under the Aspire program. So we have been in partnership with Health Carousel for around, I think, 4 years already. And we have assisted a lot of nurses for this sponsorship. I think universal staffing as well. It depends on their employer, but I'm not so sure, because France has previously informed that you can be sponsored, but it depends on the employer. But they have to clarify it directly with Universal Staffing if they also have this sponsorship program. But with the Health Carousel, I'm very so sure that they have the Aspire program for the sponsorship of the nurses on their NCLEX application. So it's very good because they don't have to spend. They just
True.
complete the requirements, and then they can already be sponsored. So financially, it would be very beneficial, and it will be very helpful for them as well financially.
Okay, so for nurses who are thinking of 4,000 to 60,000 pesos, that's something that you can save up as long as you pick the right recruitment agency that will sponsor the payment for the examination. All you have to do is to check the legal recruitment agencies by visiting the website of POEA. Okay, we now move on to the next question. For the candidates who are taking the examination in the Philippines, how often is the examination conducted? Like IELTS is conducted literally every day in Metro Manila. What about NCLEX and these nursing examinations required in the Middle East?
Mhm. So there has been a lot of changes with regard to the schedule of these nurses for the NCLEX, as well as for the Middle East examinations. Because as what we are experiencing right now, Sir Irvin, we are really in the trying times wherein we have this pandemic, and this corona virus has affected a lot of things, may it be in business or even the examinations of our candidates. So previously we have like every week there was always a schedule. Like in every week there were three days that they can sit for the examination, or 4 days, even Sundays or Saturdays. But as of this time, the schedule can be very challenging for the examinees. What we are seeing right now is that they can be able to sit for the examination like February, March, but for the month of October, November, December, there are very minimal schedule for their examination. So previously there was no problem with the schedule, but now because of also those candidates who were unscheduled for the examination, so a lot wants to sit for the examination because they want to accomplish their goal now in 2020, because we are already in the fourth quarter of 2020. So, however, they can still proceed with the application, even there are just a few schedules, because we are also considering the application, application validity, because there are boards of nursing wherein, for example, Sir Irvin, New York Board of Nursing, the application validity is valid for life. So the applicant will not be worrying about when she will be scheduled for the examination. There's no pressure on their part. But there are also boards of nursing wherein there is just 1 year application validity. So we have to look into consideration about the scheduling of the applicant. But there will still be solutions to these concerns. But as to your question, there are a lot of schedules previously. Now it's somehow getting rare. Few
Okay, so
schedules, now they just have few schedules compared to previous schedules.
to remind our nurses, it is best that you start earlier because of the limited schedules now. Like if you want to start your process now, perhaps the earliest they can take the examination is next year, first quarter, right?
If they are going to start the application right now, the
Mm.
processing time frame will take about 5 to 6 months, Sir Irvin. 5 months or 6 months, that's the earliest time that they will
Mm.
already be approved for the examination. So most probably they can have the schedule for, they can sit for the examination on the third quarter of 2021 if they will start now.
That's why they really have to decide ASAP. It's
Yes,
not as it's not as if they're the only ones planning to go to America.
yes, everyone wants to go to America already because of what you have also previously discussed with universal staffing, that the EB3 visa bulletin now is already current. So they also have to really have to plan ahead, whether may it be for the NCLEX or for their IELTS as well.
Okay, so I always hear this one coming from the nurses, coming from recruitment agencies. So what is visa screen? Is it the same as visa?
Visa screens, or Irving, is one of the requirements that the recruitment agency will require from the nurses after they have passed the NCLEX, because their American pathway will start with the NCLEX. This is the first step. And then after which they will proceed with the visa screen application. So the visa screen, this is just a certificate. So they are going to present it when they will already have their interview in the USA Embassy. So one of the requirements as well that they need to comply for them to accomplish this visa screen certification is to have the IELTS. So where uh, for their IELTS, they just need to have a total band score of 6.5 and speaking of 7. And if they will enroll if they want to have the best online coaching for their IELTS, they can definitely go to Niner 9.0 Niner IELTS Review Center for their IELTS review program. We are really encouraging as well our subscribers and our viewers and even our clients in IPASS Processing that if they want to ace their IELTS for their visa screen, then it is best that they will go to 9.0 Niner IELTS Review Center survey. So for the visa screen, so this is valid for 5 years, and they have to just They just have to have the IELTS. They just have to pass the IELTS and meet the requirements, and they will be issued for the visa screen. And the processing time frame will be around as well 2 months, the least one for the fastest board of nursing like Texas or Illinois. And sometimes it can reach up to 4 to 6 months as well with other boards of nursing. So that's the visa screen is important to all healthcare professionals, not only for the nurses, but it's also a requirement for PTs, for medtech. So this can also be used by those medical professionals as well, Sir Irving.
Okay, so just to clarify, there might be certain states in America accepting OET, but definitely for visa screen, it's only IELTS which is accepted for now.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay,
We have a
now,
discussion that previously, Sir Irving, right, about the OET, and
mhm.
OET will be beneficial for the physicians, not for the nurses. And we also clarified that with CGFNS. So the one that they are saying is that they will only accept IELTS as of the time being. Maybe if you can communicate with OET as well.
Yes.
That they can propose with CGFNS to accept
Mhm.
that, so that it would be easier for nurses to have this English proficiency examination. So most probably they will be able to accept that later on. But as of the time being, Sir Irvin, it is best that they will choose IELTS over OET if they plan to have the visa screen certification.
Okay, so I already know the answer to this question, but I want you, Miss Rachel, to inform our audience, okay? What are the benefits, what are the advantages of choosing IPASS as compared to do it yourself? Because I know for a fact there are a lot of candidates for now who are still undecided. Should I do it on my own? Should I get the help of IPASS processing? Well, I already know it by heart, but we'll offer the benefit of our audience why IPASS and not DIY?
Mm. So, Sir Irvin, we have been assisting thousands of clients already for the past 4 years. We're almost on our fifth year, and we were able to happily assist a lot of candidates. And they chose IPASS processing because of the following reasons. So, first, they have they will no longer be worried about what will be the step-by-step process on their application, because the thing that they just have to do is just to comply the documents, and then they're going to submit it to us through email because we are processing the application online, and then after which they just have to settle the fees, and they will be worry free already about the application procedure. So they will not be getting a lot of anxiety compared with doing DIY, because when someone does the DIY, when someone is doing the DIY, of course, someone is not sure whether the one that was done was right or incorrect. And also, another thing is that they will be assured that the money that they have saved up for this application will be spent wisely. Why? Because they're sure that it's not going to it's because they're sure that once they sign up with us, they will be guaranteed that they have their approval, definitely. So if you are also going to do a DIY, sometimes you are you run you will have like sometimes a mistake of sending it to a certain service provider wherein it's not the right service provider, and of course you need a lot of researching. So you need a lot of time to research what will be the step by step right procedure that I will be doing, wherein if you are just going to sign up with a processing agency like IPASS processing, then you just have to you can be able to focus on your review instead of worrying about the steps that you have done, whether it's right or it's incorrect. So those are the benefits that they can get, Sir Irving.
Okay, there you go. So I'm sure you might have questions. That's why part of the description for this video, we're going to include the website, the Facebook account, the email, contact details of IPASS. However, if you want to inquire in person, if I'm not mistaken, they have 3 offices here in the Philippines. So in Manila, it's in between LRT Quirino and LRT Pedro Hill Station, right?
Yes. And
Yeah.
the landmark is BPI Remedios, but right now we are not yet open to receive walk-in applicants. The same with our Cebu office and Davao office because of the pandemic
COVID.
we have, yes. So we are just processing the applications online, Sir Irvin.
Okay, but eventually, when Cebu and Davao offices will reopen, if I'm not mistaken, your Cebu office is located near Fuente Osmeña Circle,
Yes.
and Davao office is located near.
It's in Doña Segunda Complex, Sir Irvin. It's near Capitan Tomas Elementary School.
Okay, so there you go. We would like to thank Miss Rachel for her time, and I'm sure you have questions. That's why IPASS is just a message away, and I guarantee IPASS is very responsive, and the president and CEO is super hands-on. And that's actually what you expect from a processing agency, the personalized approach. No wonder why IPASS is the biggest in the Philippines, okay? So I just noticed that it's almost 30 minutes already, but definitely info-filled discussion. So I'm sure you might have questions related to UK, Ireland, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. We're going to feature these countries in our next video. So what are you waiting for? Don't forget to subscribe to 9.09er YouTube channel. Thank you for your time, guys, and God bless. Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much, Sir Irvin, for having us. Good luck, everyone, on your examinations.